Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and I hope you like this video. And this is another video on the worst Mets fan in the history of the New York Mets. So in the last video I did on Barstool Sports, Frank Fleming, I don't know if he is their mascot, I don't know what he does and what he's all about. But he has been a toxic fan online for a long time. Now, I've learned some things, just public things, and just sort of digging in a little bit. He's a broadcaster. He has a background in broadcasting. So, I am not a fan of the fact that I think he's sort of been manipulating us to this sort of skill of being a broadcaster, where he comes on and he screams, he lets people think that he's all-knowing, all-seeing, and he's knowledgeable as a fan. They call him a super Mets fan. Mets super fans, what they call Frank Fleming. Frank Flem, and we'll call him Flem from now on. Frank the Flem, because everything he spews is phlegm. There's nothing of value. Screams about every little thing. If the Mets step on a crack on the street, he screams about it. I think a lot of it is fake. I think he's, like I said, he's manipulated his knowledge of being a broadcaster, and really, he, as you saw with this video, is complaining about Mets owner blocking him on Twitter, which is not something that a man does. Okay. Things that I've learned about him, I kind of have a pretty good idea of what I'm dealing with. Somebody who's very childish, somebody that is very petty, and somebody who really needs to grow up. I'm going to read you a whole bunch of tweets. These were tweets from December 21st to December 23rd. Just random things about the Mets. And it makes you know why, and it makes you understand why the Mets owner, Steve Cohen, blocked him. But before we get into that, understand something, which I learned just doing my digging. Remember the rant that he had years ago where he screamed about not being able to get to the Met game on time? The train didn't show up on time, and he screamed. That happened in 2017. The Mets got sold in 2020 to Steve Cohen from the Wilpons. In February of 2021, Frank Fleming was hired by Barstool Sports. Now you're going to ask me, well, who cares? Well, here's what you need to know. The owner of Barstool Sports is Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy was part of the ownership group that wanted to buy the Mets with Alex Rodriguez, Travis Kelce, and of course Jennifer Lopez. That deal collapsed. Now, you also must know that Dave Portnoy is very good friends with Jeff Wilpon. Jeff Wilpon originally wanted to still be running the Mets now. He wanted to be running the Mets for 5 years while he was transitioning the team to the next ownership group. That's why Steve Cohen did not buy the Mets earlier in 2020, because it collapsed because of that deal. So let's go back. So Fleming was hired 3 months after it was announced that Steve Cohen was going to be the owner. Now I have to ask questions, and I ask questions here as I fix myself thinking that I'm like Abraham Lincoln. You have to ask yourself, why was Frank Fleming hired right after the group to sell the Mets was done, and Portnoy's ability to buy the Mets went down the tubes? Why did he hire Frank Fleming in 2021? Why didn't he hire him in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020? Why right after that? You know why? Because this guy, he wanted him on his payroll so he could be an attack dog, not only for himself, but also for his friend and Michigan alumni, Jeff Wilpon. Jeff Wilpon's still skulking around, folks. Don't ever doubt me. He's loving this stuff, the way the Mets are getting attacked. I'm going to read you these tweets, and you'll understand why Steve Cohen blocked this guy. Uncle Stevie only delivered broken promises. This is the worst Mets team ever. December 22nd, from Frank Fleming. I will boo everyone on opening day. This Mets team is going to be the worst team ever. From December 22nd. I predict not one player in Mets farm system will be good. Not one. Here's a series of tweets. These are back to back to back. The Mets have no balls, no guts, and always go half-assed. The Mets have 0 prospects, 0 hope, 0 talent, and a manager with 0 brains. Stearns has changed nothing, and BABIP been their favorite stat. This team is set to go into a 100-year abyss. Brett Beatty represents the Mets player development. He will bat .090 with 0 home runs and 190 errors. The Mets will not have a winning season in the next 40 years. The Mets will be the worst team in baseball the next 30 years. The Mets have the worst farm system, and it will never improve because they never make changes. Between the Mets have no draft capital, and none of the players they have drafted are any good. Kumar Rocker will be an ace soon. How can anyone trust the Mets? Every highly touted prospect is a bust. Ochoa, Millage, Generation K, F. Mart, Beatty, Alvarez. They never go all in. They never hire good GMs or managers. They keep the same scouts and player development personnel. They fail to land every big name. And these are the tweets that he's been posting. You wonder why Steve Cohen blocked this guy. It's because there's such a negativity. Who wants to be around such hatred? Who wants to be around such negativity? I know I don't. Now I'm reading you this stuff because this is deranged. I would mention, he mentions Francisco Alvarez in the last tweet that I read. These are some of the tweets, by the way. I have more. You just look up Frank Fleming and you will find all, and Mets, you'll find all these deranged comments. Completely insane. But he says that Francisco Alvarez was a failure. He was a player that was an international free agent. He made it through the big leagues at 20 years old. He has the second most home runs in the history of baseball for a rookie catcher, behind the iconic, legendary Johnny Bench. He's a bust. Doesn't mention David Wright, doesn't mention Jose Reyes, does not mention Jacob deGrom, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard. And everything the Mets do, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You hold on to a Met player, he's going to be bad. You trade him, you're going to get no value for him. And these are the kind of tweets and the kind of comments you get from him. This is even 10 times worse, folks. 10 times worse than what we see at WFAN. WFAN panders to their audience. Their audience is anti-Met on the Fan. But this guy, I don't know what his audience is, but he's deranged. And from what people have written to me, when he goes into this podcast that are supposed Met fans, when they do it during the season, they tell him to tamp it down because they know that this is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed that this guy's a Met fan. And I've said this on Twitter. You need to follow me on Twitter. I say different things on there. I'll put the link to Twitter on this in this description of this video. Please follow me on there. He's an embarrassment. And I'll say this very, very clearly. Now, people are going to say, well, why are you doing these videos on? They don't care. If you do enough videos, they will watch. Do enough videos, and people will pay attention. I know a lot of people like the last video. It's going to take a little time. This is a big corporation, and Fleming has a lot of followers and subscribers. I would mention about his channel. He has a channel on YouTube. It's terrible. He does his hot dog reviews. But this guy, I don't know if he's manipulating people because he has broadcasting skills or what. But if he doesn't like being a Met fan, it's a very simple thing. If you don't like being a Met fan, then don't follow the team. Follow the Yankees, follow the Phillies, get the hell out of here. It's a very simple thing. You can't have so much hate for something that you follow all the time. It's got to eat at you. It's got to eat at you every day. You know, every day you're angry, every day you're mad, every day you got to say something that is not productive, and it's just, I can't even say it's mean. It's just effing stupid. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. I'll do more stuff on him. There's a lot to dig here, but this is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I have about 15 screenshots of different tweets. These are just some of them. These are just some of them that I'm reading to you. Well, let me know what you think about this video, of course. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. And I'll see you later.